Make the connection. We want to talk about fear, right?
Yeah.
Because what he shared today, and I don't know if you guys are paying attention or listening, probably not, but what he shared today about, and you were talking about your daughters or your granddaughters? Daughters, right? Does anybody know anything what I'm talking about or no?
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing it again, please?
About,
You were talking about how being around them, you were allowed to be silly.
right.
Like, you couldn't, because here's the thing. The fear of not being accepted or rejected or not being a part of, right? Like, anybody in here ever really know what it's like to really be themselves everywhere they go? Or do they kind of send their representative, and maybe when they're around their kids or their family, they let down their guard? You understand what I mean? Because that's what he was saying. He was saying that, you know, he couldn't even wear that mask around his daughters. He was able to be silly and laugh and stuff like that. And I want to say, so let me ask you this. Why did you wear the mask? Why were you that defense mechanism? Where does it come from?
From,
Fear.
yeah.
Fear, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So,
Perspective,
yeah, well, listen. We're scared to death. Like, we're scared, like, as kids, like, let's all picture what it was like to be, you know, in second or third grade. Yes. But going into class, the first day of school, second or third grade, like, how happy were you if you knew one or two people? Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, like, so let's just pretend like we didn't know anybody. So what are we gonna try to do? Fit in. Yeah. We're gonna try to fit in. What are we afraid of? Being embarrassed.
Rejection.
But yeah, we don't want to be embarrassed, we don't want to be rejected, we don't want to be laughed at, we don't want to be made fun of. How many people in here were mean to other kids because they were kind of just joining along? Because they didn't, you know, like, felt bad that people were picking on him, but like, or her. We're glad that it was them and not us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it like didn't feel right even, but so how much stuff do we do out of fear? How much does fear play a role in our life every single day? Anybody in here been cheated on or stole from or something like that? So does well, listen, let me ask you something. So do we bring that into other relationships?
Absolutely.
Because we're so afraid of it happening again?
Yeah.
So afraid of someone getting over on us, so afraid of it. So it's like we're walking through, and listen, like, why do we use drugs and drink the way we do? What did Brian say the other day? I love what he said the other day. He said, I'm sensitive and I don't suffer well. You know what I mean? So it's like we're using because the pain is so much for us.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's so much. It's like the fear of the pain. Like, anybody ever been through a situation where there was like, I mean, we could break it down to who liked to get shots when they were kids, the needles?
Like?
Well, my point is none of us like it.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying, no.
I'm there going, yeah, give it to me.
But here's the thing, right? Like, guys, I don't know about you, but like, I don't know, my mom was like a masochist. She'd like tell me a week ahead of time, you gotta go get your shots for school. I'd be like, scared.
I remember that.
You know what I mean? Like, so worried about, like, the fear of it was, here's the thing, the fear of it was way worse than the actual thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I would used to say, how soon? I want to time, you know, I used to say to my mom, now, how soon? Because I knew I had one ear and I had to get 1 ear in the butt.
You like the one in the butt, didn't you?
No, I did not. I had to pull my pants down.
Yeah.
I hated that shit.
You alright?
I felt molested or something.
So, I want to talk about fear, I want to see, like, so, here's the thing, is it, guys, chill. I want to know how much fear affects what you do every single day. Constant, right? Alright, so,
Constant.
well, because like I said, like, we're
I'm
constant.
always worrying.
Anybody in here hypervigilant? I know you PTSD war guys, though, don't take that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I am.
Even if you're not, like, I know for
I'm
me.
always on alert.
Oh, yeah, constantly. What's going on? How's it going? You know, aware of your surroundings.
I am very freaked around my wife. She doesn't understand. I drive her nuts while she's driving. I'm just afraid I'm going to hit her something by something else. Slow it down, man.
Really?
You're too close to the fucking truck.
So why don't you drive?
Because she don't like the way I drive from Philadelphia. She drives crazy. I mean, I'm one of these, cutting in. The people are too slow, get out of my fucking way. Move, motherfucker, move. Cussing
That's how they drive, man.
I know, I'm from New York. I mean, I don't drive like that here. I don't see any reason to,
Well, that's how I drive.
Yeah.
You know?
Here, you drive like the bad guy on Roadhouse, just doing like 30.
You know how they drive in Jersey? Fast.
Yeah, I mean, I keep it moving, no doubt. But, there's no need to
Ain't
weave in and
there
out.
ain't no one, it's one speed.
All right, so let's bring it back real quick. I want to know what everybody's major fear is. Their major fear. Because listen,
That's a good one.
Well, I'm going to break it down. I don't care what you guys say right now, which I care. But I'm going to break it down. There's only two fears that anybody has. The fear of not getting what they want, or the fear of losing what they already have.
I think you already talked about
Yeah,
failure. That's my fear.
well, that's not getting what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Look,
Right.
like who in here is scared to death that the relationship that they're in can't be repaired, or their kids might not want to talk to them, or, that they've already kind of done too much damage?
I let that go already.
I mean, that goes into both of those fears. Not getting
Yeah.
what you want. You want a good, happy, cohesive family. Or losing what you already had, your happy, cohesive family. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Amos.
My fear right now, my fear is when I'm in this recovery and I'm doing my thing. When I go to IOP and stuff like that, go home. That's my fear. Is going home. I want to go home. I'm anxious to go home, but my fear is going home because I haven't been home. Shit. One time it was over a year. I was at home for about 2 months. I relapsed and I started fucking up. Not relapsed, but I started fucking up.
Yeah.
I got separated again from my wife, and so now I'm out again. So I've been out of the house for like another 3 months. Now I'm doing this. So basically, I've been out of my home for almost 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
So my fear is to go back home and to be with my wife because she's anxious for me to be home. But that's my fear right now. Is just I don't know how I'm gonna act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm gonna act. I don't know how.
Well, let me ask you something. All right, so now that's a good point, because is that a rational fear or an irrational fear?
I feel like it's rational.
No, 100%. 100%. A lot of the fears we have are irrational. Where's my mother in here? How many years? Well, all right, so anyway, but listen, I know like sometimes like my sister or my mother or whoever, they'll start worrying about people getting cancer that aren't even sick. You know what I'm saying? Worrying about the kids, worrying about that. Listen, dude, I do that. I worry about my kids becoming drug addicts and alcoholics. And, my daughter, that's 20, she drinks, but she doesn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? But like, I'm scared to death that my nephew started smoking weed. And it's like, I keep having these conversations about him. And like, I try to tell him, here's the thing, right? This is why I tell my nephew, listen, not everybody who smokes weed dies of an overdose. But everybody who overdoses starts off smoking weed.
It's a gateway.
You know what I'm saying? And like he doesn't get it, but yeah, or maybe drinking, whatever. You know what I mean? But people that die of overdose, nobody starts off with heroin. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's like, hey, heroin, I'm gonna experiment with heroin. You know what I mean? Like, boom, that's what it is. So, but my point is that's a rational fear. That's a healthy fear. That's something that can help you make decisions and go forth. And listen, I don't know how long you're gonna be here. But if you're feeling like that before you leave it, maybe sober living's a good place for a little bit. I'll tell you this, if you feel like...
I talked to my wife that maybe, I'm thinking about maybe doing something like that, and she's on board with me too with that.
Yeah.
But she wants me to come home, she's anxious for me to come home as well.
Yeah.
But it's just, man, I'm a little afraid when I go home, I don't know how I'm gonna act, you know what I'm saying?
No, but that's good, man. That's good, because you know who scares the shit out of me? People that have been here 11 days and are like, Mike, I'm good.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought about having a drink. I'm like, good. You know what I mean? You're here. It's been 11 fucking days. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody that's ever been to treatment once or twice, or even on the outside, let's be real. It's easy to do 11 days. It's easy to be like, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I promise you, there will come a time when you want to have a drink. And if you're not like doing everything you can to not drink, if you're not doing everything that they say, everything that they do, when that, we were reading the story the other day, suddenly some milk in my whiskey sounded like a good idea. boom. I mean, when I tell you that shit hits you like a sledgehammer and you're on autopilot, you don't, I'm telling you, it says it in the book too. It's like, and then you're pounding on the bar going, how did I get here again?
Oh,
You know?
right.
So fears. We're gonna go around the room. I wanna know, give me your major fear.
Losing what I already have.
Okay? But like, tell me what, like your son. Say it. My son want nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
In losing pretty much everything I've worked for.
Yeah. Well, you know, I would think, fuck what you worked for. The relationship you have with your son, which
Well,
you
yeah.
worked for, but that connection, right? Like that connection, to lose that, because let's be real, like you lost, say you lose everything financially, but he's still like, man, you're the best dad going. It's like, all right, man.
That's
Yeah. It's like, all right, man, I can get that shit back. But like, could you imagine like, you know, like the people that you really care about being like, man, go. I don't want nothing to do with you. Like,
Yeah, because I could really care less if my parents said, you know, that, but it would be my son.
yeah.
That,
And it might hurt with your parents too, but I know the son's the major thing.
Yeah.
I get it. Really?
I love my parents, but yeah.
My daughter, I feel like.
How old is your daughter? If you
My,
don't mind?
my daughter is 14 months. And
Oh.
My stepdaughter is 9 years old. But I feel like CPA
Yes.
is involved, and I think so. My girl went to her parents, and I'm in disadvantage right now. I feel like, you know, because it was a fight right between me and my girl, and we can say that they won the fight. You know,
Yeah,
they got
yeah.
the key. Carlos needs to be removed.
Yeah.
I feel in disadvantage, and I'm terrified. Exactly what you said. Yeah, I don't care about. I do care about the financial thing, the house, my
Well, it's
little
important.
truck,
It's important.
but that my little girl is something that is gonna. I feel very like in a disadvantage right now. Like I cannot do nothing to. I know I'm doing the right thing and stuff, but I feel in disadvantage. Like you gotta keep my mouth shut and wait till I have
Well,
something
so
that I can bring to the
here's the
table.
thing. You'll see me say this all the time when I talk about the main goal. What's our main goal? When you're talking about that, right? Like the worst thing in the world would you be to lose that, right?
Right.
So if you've got to suck up your pride, you've got to listen to some bullshit, you've got to jump through some hoops, well, so be it, right? Because that's the most important thing. That's what I try to tell you guys about recovery or this or that. It's like you have to put that above all else. Because here's the thing, you can only fuck that up by drinking or letting your anger get the best of you. You calm your anger down and using drugs, you stay sober and don't say or do anything crazy, and it's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? But you start like doing that, and you get the whole, and you'll have nobody to blame but yourself. And here's the thing, guys, if you're sitting in this room, chances are you're gonna have to swallow some shit from your loved ones, family, CPS, the lawyers, or whoever. Like you're gonna have to swallow some shit, but it's gonna humble you a little bit. It's not, because we make some messes, don't we? RJ, your lady give you a hard time sometimes? Right, deservedly so, right? Like rightfully so, like, but it's crazy. I'll see people all the time. I got a guy that was in here a couple of months ago. Oh man, I'm like, you're 45, you're 50 days clean, and you're mad that she's giving you a hard time? Like, that's not a lot of time. Like, I understand that you're doing good and you're fighting a good fight, but like, it's part of the process. Yes.
And then on top of that, and I'm afraid that what if my wife doesn't like the change? You know, what if she likes, you know, what if I come, you know, I come in with a different attitude, you know, a better attitude, a different attitude, a sober attitude.
Yes.
But what if she doesn't like that? What if she likes, you know, she wants me to be sober, but she wants me to be the old me, you know what I'm saying?
Well, here's what I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. A lot of the times, when we're the drug addict or the alcoholic, guess what we get? We get the blame for everything. And the truth is, not everything is probably our fault, right? But we're the scapegoat. So now, you get your shit together, right? All of a sudden, you're not the fuck up that you once were.
Yeah.
The power dynamic may shift a little bit, and she might actually resent you for a little bit. Because, and it's a subconscious thing, it's not so much a conscious thing, she expects for you to zig when she zags, and all of a sudden you're doing something different, it throws her off. Do you understand what I'm saying? It does.
Yeah.
And the only thing, and this is what I tell people all the time, like the only thing that ever really settles that down is consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't just,
Okay.
you know, and
Yeah.
you have to be patient with people because, like I said, we made a mess. We dug a hole. We made people sick.
Yeah.
We tore, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, like I say, guys, I know you might not like this word, but I don't care. We were emotional terrorists. I mean, we did damage. Like, and it's not, you know, it says it right in the book, the guy that comes up from the cellar, right? Nothing to see here. Like, he talks about how the tornado blew everything down but his house. And he's like, comes out and he's like, oh man, we're good. It's like, no. You know what I mean? Look at all the wreckage. Look at all the shit that's fucked up.
I guess something very important that you just mentioned, because it's important to me and stuff, that, hey, so she drive clean, I drive dirty. So, you know, we were both using, but she drive clean, I drive dirty, so like you said, I had to
Yeah.
swallow, take all the, it
Yeah.
was not on my fault, but hey, at this time it is, period, and I just gotta keep my mouth shut. Keep my mouth shut, because I could destroy everything through the phone right now.
That's what I said. Like, when you let your anger, listen, guys,
It's not important.
yeah, so give me a major phone. Give me something that keeps you up at night. Something that you're really scared of.
My kids repeating my habit.
That's a great one.
Especially the one that got adopted. I mean, I wrote a letter so she knows everything,
Yeah.
but I also, in case she didn't want to have anything to do with me, so she knows she has VA benefits, but I told her about her dad being an alcoholic, and he was on heroin for a while, and then about my past issues, so at least that way she's aware, but I can't really.
But it's scary to us. Why we don't want them to live this way?
Yeah,
We don't want
because
them to go through this pain.
I ended up living, for only meeting my real mom, like, I only met her like 5 times maybe in my life, and she overdosed when I was 7, but I was sitting in my baby dad's trap, literally leg to leg with, I found out, because I was just like my mother, one of her best friends from the east side of San Antonio she used to run with, not even half a block from where she died at the same age she overdosed.
1 second. Oh, he don't know.
Where would we find them?
Can someone go get Willie for her, please? Please, somebody volunteer.
I'll go.
Thank you. Thank you, RJ. Service work.
That's
Service.
why, and you just let them know we can stay.
So, that's scary stuff.
Like literally next to her best friend that she used to run with, not even half a block from where she died. Although my grandpa, her father, did overdose, but that's a different story.
Wow.
Sean, give me a fear, man.
Oh,
I think you told me one
The
time.
fear of the
RJ.
unknown, you know. When I'm drinking, I don't give a shit what's going to happen, you know. But when I'm sober, kind of fear of the unknown, and I don't like myself because I have that fear, and I'm too serious. I can't laugh, and you know, I've been drunk more than I've been sober in my life.
All right, so let me ask you this. How do you think fear could hinder your recovery?
Anger, turn to anger, and self-pity.
Okay, but is it easy to come into a room like this or go to a process group or go into like a new AA meeting where you feel like everybody knows each other and you're the outcast and like really like expose yourself? Aren't we afraid of exposing ourselves? Why are we afraid of exposing ourselves? Why are we afraid of being vulnerable?
Judgment, or judgment.
Well, judgment, right, but
Not getting the right reaction.
Well, our ego, but it's like, oh, they're gonna think I'm weak. And if
Yeah.
I'm weak, they're gonna, do you understand? Like, I'm gonna be prey. And if I'm prey, then everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it breaks it down to that type of stuff.
Well, we all want to be liked.
Oh, not only want to, but it's a need of ours to be liked and accepted and loved. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, we're afraid to put ourselves out there because we're afraid to let people know the real us. Because if they know the real us and they reject us, then we're really fucked. Right? Then we're standing on an island all by ourselves and we might as well kill ourselves because who do we got? I don't mean we should kill ourselves. You know what I mean?
Like, fear would be, like going to meetings and, like I went over to, a meeting over there in town, to provide a, kind of a ritzy area shit you're intellectualizing. And me, I have a learning disability, and I feel that I'm not a part of, on the level of trying to share. So that fear is, I hope when I'm sitting here, please don't call me, because I hear them talking, people are here talking, and then, you know, sharing and stuff, and it's like, man, I don't want them to call me and ask me a question like that.
Can I tell you how-
That's why I guess, it's like, I know this is not for me, so I quietly get up and walk out. I've done that a lot.
Can I, and we run and hide, right? Can I tell you how the same exact thing happened to me, but a different thing? So my brother-in-law is from Texas. Clint, his name's Clint, good guy. Wanted to go to Top Golf for his birthday.
Yeah.
I don't play golf. Baseball, basketball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Box, shit like that. Go to Top Golf. Got all these guys dressed differently than I dress, right?
Right.
They all probably got money.
Right.
They're all good at golf. All of a sudden, I hate them all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
None of them did anything to me. I hate them. I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's how I
Well,
feel.
right? No, because it's why, and let's break it really down. We feel uncomfortable. We feel uncomfortable. We're not a part of. I'm not like you.
I'm not part of the furniture.
Right.
I'm not a part of the furniture. That's how I feel.
No, I know.
You did?
Well,
I
so-
sit there and I had to get up and leave, man.
Well,
I'm
so
sorry.
here's the
I
thing.
can't
The
answer
top
questions,
golf. Well,
sir.
here's the thing. The top golf thing's got nothing to do with anything.
But
right?
you know what I'm
But
saying?
no. Let me go. Like when you go to a meeting like that, when you go to a meeting, because I would go to meetings. Listen, I would go to meetings like that in Sugar Land, right? And a lot of these guys own businesses and they're this and
We're
they're that.
loafers.
Yeah, I mean, how do I go there and talk about me, you know, my life and feeling inadequate and going the way I, you know, like completely shut down in places like that, right? Completely shut down in places
Yeah.
like that and feel uncomfortable and I run into my little cocoon.
That's the fear I have.
Well, yeah.
Well, when I leave here, that's a fear, you know, that's one of my fears. The fear is not going to
Just go ahead.
a sober living. I love the sober living idea.
Yeah.
But it's where they're going to take me.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that?
And
What's sober
their
living?
expectations.
Oh, sober. I heard a different word. Okay, no.
And their expectations, you know, because they want you to go here, and there, and you know, I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't
And
know.
I get it and I understand and that's why I was trying to bring up because what he said today, man, it was like.
I don't know shit
Well,
about it.
here's the thing. I got clean, I got sober, I worked the steps, I did the work, right? By doing that, I got in touch with God. And by getting in touch with God, I got to know myself. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the person that you see here that comes in here today, every day, is the person I am at my other job, and it's the person I am with my family, and it's, do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, this is who I am, and I'm comfortable being it, and I'm just, you know, I could go into a situation like that and be at Top Golf and everything and start feeling uncomfortable, oh man, you know, whatever the case is, but it's like, my whole entire life, I was just being the person that I decided to be,
Yeah.
or that who I thought you wanted me to be.
Right.
You know, I was never who I really was. I like what you said before, and I like that. It's like, we are, out of fear, one walking, talking self-defense mechanism system, because we're afraid to get hurt, we're afraid to get let down, we're afraid to be shut out, we're afraid to be rejected, we're afraid. Why are we using? We're self-medicating, because we're afraid to go through the pain. We're afraid to live life without these chemicals or substances, right?
And also with me too, and I do know because I have social anxiety. But
And the funny thing
but
is-
when I drank, I was the biggest man in the whole fucking room. I could talk all kind of shit.
Well, the funny thing, you know what's so funny?
That's why I drank, because
Yeah.
I wanted to get out of myself
Yeah.
in order to fit in, and I did fit in.
Well,
And-
here's the thing. The funny thing is you say that, and I believe you, and I
I
understand.
have great skills in that.
But like me and Z were talking about it the other day, and for how like, man, Patrick is just Patrick. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he is confident.
Loudest motherfucker here.
Yeah, but he's so confident in who
Yeah.
he is, and he just is who he is. And dude, that's an attractive
But-
quality. That's why
but-
people love you, and
But
like, you are.
here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's what it really truly is.
Okay.
It's just a costume I'm wearing. And so you got to understand, it's a costume.
Really?
It's just a costume.
Really?
Yeah, it's a costume. I'm good at what I do, you know, and I gotta be true to myself. When I go to these fucking meetings, I don't become that kind of a person or that.
Well, I'm
costume.
saying, are you comfortable here?
I'm very comfortable,
That's what I'm saying. Like, we see.
but I'm not comfortable out of my
out there.
element.
No, I get that. Dude, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I completely understand that. So let me ask you something. You think if you do enough work, you think if you do this, you think you could be like me and you could be in a situation at Topgolf and you want to punch these people, but you look at yourself and say, Mike, it's not them, it's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just feel uncomfortable.
They haven't done anything to you.
No, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I say to myself, I laugh at myself.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, man, you
This
know,
is why
it's not them.
I'm really serious about my recovery, and I'm doing what I'm told to do, and I believe what I'm doing is the right thing to do.
Good.
You know, and I was mad at myself when they picked me for sergeant at arms. I was like, okay, I didn't want to do it. God knows in my heart I didn't want to do it, but you know what? Somebody voted for me to be sergeant of the arms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sergeant of the arms.
Or whatever it's called. What do you call it? Sergeant at arms. You know. So I mean, that because I said that in the morning when I woke up with my roommate. He's not here. Jimmy, I said, I bet today they're going to vote today. I bet somebody's going to make me sergeant at arms. I damn sure don't want to do that. and because I know I have to get up a little early. You know. So now I get up early to go do the round. And it's not so bad. I did it today. It's not so bad.
Hold on. So Clark, let me ask you something about what you shared to Amy's group. Was that like a normal thing for you? Did that like go against your natural instincts, or did you kind of force yourself to do it?
I had to think about it.
Yeah. Like it's not a natural thing for us to expose ourselves. That's basically what I'm saying. But let me ask you something. Did it make you feel a little bit better?
Yeah, I feel better.
Well, that's what I always say.
That's what they come
Well, this is what I'm trying to say, how we have to act our way into right thinking. Because your first instinct would probably be, don't say nothing, don't tell nobody.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what you were talking about. I don't want to be sergeant at arms. I don't want nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
And then you do it,
You feel better.
and you see the
growth.
the value of it. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, here, you know, like our fears.
It's helping me.
A lot of the times our fears are irrational. Our fears are not,
They're not realistic.
they're not helping
They're
us.
not real.
You know, like
They are
listen,
real.
like here's the thing. If you were in a relationship and you were cheated on or lied to or whatever, a lot of us were, right?
And I lie.
And then you never trust anybody again because you don't want to get hurt.
Right.
Are you really winning?
No.
Because what? You don't get to be, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you don't get to be in a relationship. Because here's the thing, no relationship is a waste of time, right? Say you meet somebody and you're together for 6 months and you guys spend a lot of time, 6 months a year, whatever it is. You spend a lot of time together, you do this, you enjoy each other's company, you grow, you laugh, you watch TV, whatever you do. And then you just break up and you know, one person's upset, like, I wasted my time for the last year and this, that, the other thing. But did you really?
You can always learn from something.
Because you'll get over it a lot faster than a year. You know what I mean? You'll learn, you spend some time with somebody, you able to have connections and love and physical comfort and all this other stuff. It's like, but we have this thing in us, like, we're so afraid of, how much fear keeps us from getting better and doing good.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Joe, give me something. Give me a fear. Give me,
Acceptance.
except you want to be accepted. Yeah. It's so crazy because a lot of times with our fears, we want to be accepted, or we don't want to be rejected, so we don't put ourselves out there. We don't talk. We don't, a lot, like I said, like when I walked into meetings and I started coming out meetings in Rosenberg and doing it, I wasn't the person you see today where I go up and shake everybody's hand and do this. I'd sit in the back and I'd be quiet and I'd do this. You know what I mean? Because
So it's way better.
yeah, well, just uncomfortable,
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, you want to be, you want to be accepted, you want to be liked, you crave that type of stuff. But it's like, here's the thing, when they started to love me out there and really were drawn to me, when I started really being vulnerable and honest and confident about that. I talked about my low self-esteem or my feeling inadequate or hating myself or hating being Texas because, missing my kid. You know what I mean? Like just being honest and people.
People feel the same way you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just felt
They feared.
the truth coming from me. They knew I was being honest.
Yeah.
You know what, really too, because I noticed I watch myself and monitor myself. Like I'd say I get called upon, and I'll get called upon, and I'll reach for my water bottle. It's like the manner is I used to grab my beer before I go to talk.
Yeah.
So I still have those behaviors,
Well, when you get
I'm
called,
already called on, I pick up water, and that's my beer.
Well, not even that, but when
Yeah.
you get called on, what do you feel like everybody's doing?
They're all happy.
And then what do you gotta do? It's
I grab my water bottle. I grab my water bottle because that's my drink. That's
Yeah.
my beer. You
Yeah.
know, that's manner. That's my mind. You know. Hold on. I'll be right with you. I grab my water bottle and I drink it. You know, it's and why I drink the water. You know.
Well, I mean, let me
I
ask
didn't
you
need
something.
water. I just did it.
How many of us are scared to death to be embarrassed? And how many times have we been embarrassed and it's not a big deal?
Countless.
Every time.
Love it.
No, shit, big.
The best laughs you can get from other people are at your own expense.
Well, that's usually true. And that's the thing. And if you can, you know,
Laugh with it,
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't take yourself so seriously.
I want to.
Yeah.
I want. You know. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't let everybody else share.
So, someone who I haven't called on.
Yes.
Give me something that scares you to death.
Lately, dining young.
Okay. Listen,
That's
that's
the
real, I'll be
same.
honest with you, that's the only reason why I went to treatment this last time. Didn't want literally said it out loud, I don't want them to have to go to my funeral.
Well, right.
That was it, you know what I mean? Like, that was it, so that's a real fear.
Yeah.
But the lifestyle we live, that could easily happen, you know? What I'm trying to talk about, do you see how, like, we have the major fears? You see all these small fears, these irrational fears? Do you see how much fear is in here? And listen, when we're out there using, what's our major fear? It's when we're out there using it.
Cops?
Dying. Usual.
That's not
The cops?
Running out of dope.
He's got it.
Running out.
Running out. Not having enough. That's it. That's our first fear, running out. Not having enough. Well, hey guys, for my pure alcoholics, what's it like when you didn't judge how much you were going to use on the weekend, and you wake up at 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning, detoxing? What kind of fear sets in then?
You can't get it. It's fucked up. I gotta go to the fucking bootleg and pay double. Yeah. I gotta ride way to Third Ward or fucking Acres Home to get my drink. Damn.
Yeah.
Now I fucking got a hangover.
Yeah.
And I fucking got the shakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, you actually have the ability to do that. A lot of people gotta.
Oh, I didn't.
They gotta wait for that liquor store to open.
Monday.
Monday?
I
It's
don't
not
think-
open at all on Sundays?
Nah.
I'm not. That's
Yeah, not so new.
What?
About beer.
you can bet. No, the laws changed. You buy beer.
What was this from?
You can buy beer.
They didn't have anything nice around
It's a
here.
4 local day, okay.
Philip called, by the way.
Yeah, he always does.
We'll make sure you never miss that phone call.
So anyway. Fear.
Running out.
Fear of running out. Which would not getting what we want, or losing what we already have. I mean, it's crazy because how much do you think fear ties into resentment?
Into what?
Resentment.
Resentment?
Yeah. How many of us use on a regular basis, and we use a resentment to justify it? How many people in here use and do what they want because I go to work, I pay the bills, I do what I'm supposed to do?
That's true with me, you know.
But is that not a resentment? Because aren't we doing what we're supposed to do?
Yes, yes.
We are. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? But we have this like, what about me? How come I don't get to chill?
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You see how that's a resentment?
Yeah, yeah.
The fear of not getting our share.
Right. And what I want at that time, which is always an issue, you know, because anything worth having is worth waiting for.
Yeah.
Well, I do understand what you're talking about with that. That's a good one right there, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think. See, I only learned that because of myself. I didn't think I was running around living off resentments, right? Because I'm not walking around kicking the dog. I'm not pissed off that I have to coach Little League or go to daddy-daughter dances or pay bills or go to work. Like, I wasn't walking around pissed off doing that. So I didn't think of it as a resentment. But I also had this thing, what about me? How come I can't get to chill?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
See, I told you, I like my whole entire life, I based my whole entire life on the win-win. And I based my whole entire life Because as a very, very young kid, I formulated this thing that as long as I can do what I want, when I want, and I don't have to hear it from nobody, I'd be happy. So how do you do what you want when you want and not hear it from nobody? You take care of your responsibilities as much as you can. You guess everybody did that, so you do what they want, you pay for this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you go off and do what you want. Eventually that runs out. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I was little, I mean, I was a 30-year-old childlike mentality that I just want to do what I want when I want. I don't want to hear it from nobody. And I don't know, that's probably a lot of us.
Yeah.
Right?
I take care of my shit. I take care of my shit, so I don't want to hear from anybody. I take care of my business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And listen, let's be real. At the time, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it really acceptable? No. And who said it before? I think it was you. About your grandmother? Being so selfless and loving and caring and this and that. When we're living what me and you were just talking about, it really is selfish. And here's the thing, I didn't think I was selfish because I would do this, A, B, C, and D, and do this to everybody, do this for everybody, do this for everybody, and then I'm doing for myself. Because I thought I put everybody else first and then me, but that's really not true. Yeah, I put me first and then took care of everybody else. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because if it came down to, you know, doing something for somebody else, but I needed to go get what I needed, I had to get what I needed and then go do that.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
I used to think I'd get my shit first. I would get my shit first, and then whenever then I'd take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
I need to get my shit first.
Well, and how much, listen, and here's the fucked up, and how much of that shit are we doing in order to compensate for the fucked up shit we do? It's all a form of manipulation.
Yeah.
It's all a form of manipulation. You know what I mean? I used to do shit for my sister-in-laws, my mother-in-law, my parents, and do this. And now that I look back on it, I was trying to buy myself some goodwill. You understand what I'm saying? Do this, do that. You know, it's all a form of like, I know I'm dropping the ball over here, so let me pick it up over here. Because, you know, and here's the thing, like with your grandmother, right? Like, here was your grandmother, this giving, loving, caring person that used to make you feel special and all this other stuff. And what a positive, powerful impact she had. She wasn't running around going, you know, she wasn't living the way we do. She was living a different way, a selfless way. Right? Here's the thing, when you're selfish, you come off as selfish. You know what I mean? You could be manipulating, you could be bullshitting, you could be lying and all that other shit, but everybody sees through it. Everybody sees through it. When someone's truly selfless, we know.
Yeah.
We know. I want to know.
You did this already.
I don't care. Tell me what you told me last time. I don't give a shit.
I don't know. Mine is what Kristen said, actually. Not my daughter. I'm not worried about her. Like, she's seen everything her father and I have been through. And I don't even know how we got a kid like that, but she's going to college already. Got like a 1,500 on her SATs.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Shit like that. I know. I don't know where the fuck it came from, but my son.
Congratulations, by the way.
I don't know how I did it. I don't know. She did it, not me. But my son. I'm worried about my son. Going to jail and all the
Well,
institutions
let's
that.
be real. Why are you scared for your son? Guys, boys are stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're hard-headed. We're idiots. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
it's just like his dad. He's been hustling since the 3rd grade.
yeah.
Like
Candy?
candy, cards, all this shit. He's like, guess how much I got for this and that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I know. I was the same way. It's like you can't. Here's the thing about that hustling and that getting over and that turning $1 into $1.50 or whatever it is. It's a hire. It's a chase, right?
And that's how his dad started.
Well, that's how we all start. Nobody, you know, it feeds the ego. Makes you feel like you're good at something. Do you understand what I'm saying? Start chasing it. You're chasing it like you chase anything else. Why? Because sitting right where I'm sitting might be the most uncomfortable seat in the whole house.
Yeah.
Sanjis, give me a major fear of yours, man. Something that may keep you up at night, something that scares you, something that motivates you. Like I said, it could be the fear of being embarrassed. It could be the fear of dying young. It could be the fear of your parents saying you want nothing to do with you. What?
Losing my mom.
Losing your mom. Is she sick?
No, but she's getting up in age.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, you know what I
Time's a
mean?
bitch.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the only thing worse than getting old is not.
True.
Yeah. And we're all, you know. So the fear of losing your mom, that's something that, you know, and why? Your mom's real good to you, you guys got a real good.
Yeah, real good relationship. And she's always there for me.
That's, I mean, when I do this, and I'll go around the whole room sometimes, we're not gonna do this, but like, even though you said, you know, what you worked for, it's really with your son, and like nobody, it's losing the connection, it's losing the love we have for people, it's losing our place where we're at. It's never really the financial stuff. It's never that. It's like, what would we be without, what would you be without your kids? Lost, empty, broken, shattered, disconnected. Right? Another thing I wanted to bring up, you were talking about in Amy's group about being alone. Like, what's the difference between being alone and lonely and whatever?
Being alone, you'd be physically alone, but you can be around a whole bunch of people and be lonely.
Listen, before I went to treatment this last time, I remember telling my sister, like, I didn't realize that I was just feeling I was so disconnected from them. You know what I mean? Because I was like in bad shape, and they're not. And they maybe felt bad for me, or they were worried for me, or something like that. But like, we were not on the same level.
Right.
Even being around my kids, like, I felt guilty, shitty, awful, just being around them. So it wasn't like everybody pushed me away, but I felt like I couldn't reach them. I felt like I could not, I mean, I never felt so disconnected. And that made me feel lonely. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
That's
alone
exactly
maybe.
Exactly how I felt with my wife.
Yeah.
I was home, but I wasn't home.
No,
No.
you're not, because here's the whole
I wasn't
thing.
connected, we were there.
Exactly.
You
I mean,
weren't there, yeah. Exactly.
might as well have been a brick wall
That's
in
why I'm
front of
here.
you.
That's why
Might
I'm
as
here.
well have been a brick wall in front of you. And that's the shit that this, listen what I'm about to tell you. Drugs and alcohol, nothing will disconnect you more from yourself, from God, and from your people than the drugs and alcohol. Put a wall up. Seriously, because if your drug use or alcohol use hasn't brought you to the point of like isolating and wanting to be alone, and you know, like I said, for my meth and crack users and stuff like that, and heroin users, like when you're in a bathroom for a lot of your time by yourself,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Cocaine too, yeah.
yeah, all that, like completely, and like I said, like, listen, who in here gets high with other people?
Sometimes.
Okay, but is it like, you know, even your stupid conversations that you're all gonna start businesses and get rich and do all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you got all these great ideas, but like, is it real connection?
No.
Is it real?
The focus is on the substance.
Yeah, it's just words in the air.
Right.
There's no real, like,
No way connection.
there's no way. It's got, exactly.
It's just noise.
It's got no weight to it. Exactly. That's why even today, like, why I'm 100% sober. No mind move or altering substances in my body, nothing. But like, even like to drink and to, like for me, drinking and having a good time and laughing and joking and stuff like that. To me, I'm with you. To me, there's no substance to that. It's just words in the air. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't really believe that it can, I don't believe that there can be anything meaningful when the alcohol or the drugs or there is in the middle of it. You know? I really don't. So, you know, it's hard for me to do this. I wanted to plan it out a little bit better, but I was so busy. But I really want you to look at like anybody in here ever do a real step forward with a sponsor?
I have.
Okay, so RJ, just tell us a little bit about how fear plays a major role in that.
Well, I think I was reliving the fear really of all the presentments I had.
Okay, but I'm saying, when you did the step 4 list and you did everything and
Yeah.
you did that, was fear not on every single one of them? Listen, spoiler alert, fear and low self-esteem are all over the whole entire thing. I mean, the whole entire thing. Where do you think the low self-esteem comes from?
Me personally,
Yeah.
being the little cousin that was like the one to get picked on the most.
I mean,
Yeah.
put down, put in your place, not put in your place, but do you understand what I'm saying? And it's like, it comes from this fear of what? I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Because here's the whole thing, I say this all the time, if we, every one of us, if everybody, what we see in you, Patrick, if you could see in Patrick, you'd be walking around 10 feet tall. Do you understand what I'm saying? But that's not the definition of self-esteem. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Yeah. Because listen, when I told my mom, like when I got clean and I got sober and I was telling her about this, and low, like I'm trying to like tell her everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I tell her about low self-esteem and fear, and she's like, well, that ain't you. You know what I mean? Because she's like, I don't understand, like, you know, you always had a lot of friends and you this and that and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, hey, you know what I put all my self-esteem in? What other people thought of it. Yeah, that was, I think I missed the boat on what self-esteem meant. No, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm, listen, and this is the thing, maybe you guys can't understand that now, but if you do the work and you stay sober and you realize it, this was something, me personally, I've had since I was 5, 6, 7 years old. Like I said, always feeling, you know, oh, I really was like, I had a lot of friends and I was accepted a lot, but it was like, still always felt like the square peg in the round hole. Still always felt like, still wondered what everybody said about me, even what they were thinking about me. And if they really knew who I really was, they probably wouldn't accept me. So I can't let them know who I really am. You know what I mean? Because I can't be rejected.
Right. Can I say this one thing? Don't you think that we all kind of crave what another person thinks?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
You know.
Well, here's the thing. I want every single person in here to like me. I do. But it doesn't rule my world.
Yeah.
It used to rule my world. The people around, it used to rule my world. I can't tell you about the things I did or said because what people said or what did, like acting crazy and all this stuff. Like, here's the thing, like with me and you, right? If you were telling people, like, he's a fucking asshole and he's this and he's that, I'll be okay with that because I know I never really gave you a, now if I stole your wallet, if I stole shit out of your, you know what I'm saying? And then you were telling people this and that and this and that, well then maybe, whatever the case is. But if I'm really, if I've given you me, and I've been honest with you and I've treated you good, and you didn't like me, well that's on you. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, maybe we got to know each other and we built a relationship, and then I heard you were saying that, I'm not saying it wouldn't hurt my feelings, it would. But at the same time, I'm not going to let it rule me.
Yeah. Get inside.
Yeah.
And play mind games with you.
Yeah, and that's the coping skills that this thing has given me that I didn't have back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with
Yeah.
it. Good place. Good place to be.
Well, this whole thing is coping. I hope this whole thing is coping skills because we had zero. We were running and hiding and getting high.
So this is something we have to practice on that. We gotta
Oh,
coping
yeah,
skills.
listen, guys,
I
you
struggle
are,
with that.
you are who you are
Yeah.
from a very young age. And then you go and damage the shit out of yourself with all these chemicals and substances and all these other things. You know what I mean? Like,
I still got that issue, man, about,
Yeah.
being accepted, being liked, and that, you know,
That's not a-
I'm thinking, did I do something wrong to this person? Why is this person acting this
Yeah.
way? Why they acting this way? Why, what did I do? You know, what did I do? What, you know, just.
can I bring, well, you know, here's the one thing you gotta realize about ourselves, us. We think everything's about us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Self-centered.
When somebody else, they might not, like, you're wondering why they're acting a certain way. They might be going through their own shit, but it's like, what did I say? We're like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
That's exactly right.
well, that's how we are. That is how we are. It's like, we gotta take a step back, like, the world doesn't actually revolve around me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But hey, listen, that's a tough break for us because for a long time, that's really, you know, because, and here's the whole thing, if you're looking at it with these two eyes and into the world, you kind of see it like the world's revolving around you, you know what I mean? Like, you have to realize, like, no, it's not, and no, a lot of things aren't that serious. A lot of times we take ourselves too seriously. And you gotta realize, like, that's why I always talk about the main goal. Well, what's my main goal? My main goal is to be the best that I can be. And here's the thing, this is the truth. To be the best human being I can be for my kids, family, friends, and then you guys. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me to be the best that I can be, I need to react certain ways and do certain things and live certain ways and whatever the case is. I can't just be how I was my whole entire life. Because listen, that's the thing, I didn't realize, I was sick. I was just not a drug abuser. For a long time, every time I went to treatment, I thought I was a substance abuser. You know what I mean? Like, because here's the thing, everybody in the world would tell me, Mike, you're a great guy, you just need to stop doing this. So I'd be like, yes, that's what I need to stop doing. It wasn't until I realized, holy shit, I've got more problems than a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't that.
And then just that, yeah.
It's that and this and that, and the way I look at things, and I've been carrying shit around with me, and the patterns and behaviors I have. I mean, you know, so afraid to be hurt by people that I put up this wall, and then I never let anybody in. All I ever wanted to do was pull everybody to me. But all my actions ever did was push everybody away. I mean, how fucked up is that? If you were to ask me, Mike, what do you want now? I want to love everybody and have good friendships and good relationships, and I want my kids to think, you know what I mean? But yet my actions are going, everybody get the fuck away.
But I got
Crazy.
Mike, I gotta ask you this one now. Do you think that attracted other people that had dysfunction in their life?
No doubt about it. Listen, it's so funny. I told a story about me and my friends in New York, like me and my real close friends.
Right.
Didn't recognize it in high school. Said it to him. He's still my best friend. I said it to him. I said, do you know we all came from the same household? We all came from the same damn household. We had one pretty bad alcohol or drug addict parent and one pretty solid parent. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I realized how like we all, and it's black and it's white and it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the household we grew up in, it's all the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just weird how like we somehow found each other, and it's just odd like that. Like we
Right.
seek out. That's why we can come to a place like this and feel so comfortable so quick. It's how we can go to an AA meeting and hear some people say shit and we're like, oh shit. It's why I read that book for one time and said, I mean, I told it was a joke, but I was serious. I said, I always knew they were going to write a book about me. I just didn't know it was going to, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know it was going to be called Alcoholics Anonymous. I mean, I was in treatment, I cannot remember the last time I had a sip of alcohol. But when I read that book, I was like, this book knows my better than me. Doesn't know that I like long walks on the beach or that I like this, I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't know little shit about, I mean, it was like in here. It was in here and in here that book knew me. And I said, holy shit, this book, there might be something to this. I didn't read it and go, holy shit, I'm cured. I said, there might be something to this. And that's all I try to do with you guys. The way I self-disclose and talk and just, all I try to do is let you guys know, like that's why I talk about this stuff, because maybe you'll say, holy shit, if it worked for this idiot, it could work for this idiot. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I want you to do. All right, guys, dinner at 6, 5, dinner at 5, group at 6, we'll finish this up. I love you guys.